so really quickly, because it's a pretty long story, and I won't bore you with all the details, but I started off. A friend of mine came and started talking about NFTs, and he's a pretty powerful um, person in the comic circuit. Like he runs all of the comic cons on the East Coast, basically. And so he came to me and said, "Yeah, we got to do NFTs. We got to do NFTs." And then a couple of my other friends that are have been very big in the comic world came to me and said, "Yeah, they're doing NFTs, and they were making millions of dollars and stuff like that." So I jumped on the bandwagon, and I went hard on Ethereum. Like I like started releasing stuff under Interplanetary Pet Shop, and so I started releasing that, not knowing what the heck I was even doing. You know, none of it had utility. None of it made any sense. I had zero. I think I had like 23 followers at the time, and I started being like somewhat successful. If you look at my old collections for what they were on Ethereum, they were selling like one or two a day at like $80 a piece, which I thought was crazy. You know,
I would too.
and so then the London fork happened, and gas prices went from $20 to $150, right? So for them to pick up an Interplanetary Pet Shop pet, it was like, you know, $40 or $80, and now it's $300. And so I could not stay on Ethereum without feeling like I was literally rugging everybody, because I had no utility built in. And I was just like, "Hey, collect these pets." So at the same time, I had this, there's the collection out there called F Cancer, which is a collectible cancer charity where you collect these pixels. And for the proceeds that go towards, I would walk into the cancer center and just hand people cash, right? But the problem was bots grabbed all of the free pixels. So that's the problem. It's like if you put anything out there for free, bots are going to grab it and then not understand that it was a charity, or not care. So it was at that point where I decided I've got to build my community. So I started like getting involved in all of these NFT projects and running people's discords, and my Twitter following wasn't growing at all. I mean, it was just staying around 100, and I would gain some, lose some. And this was on Ethereum, and I was really spending like 12 to 14 hours a day, like pushing other people's projects and building stuff, making 3D models, making art for people. And so I got in with a pretty big couple of projects as a community leader, and I told them, I said, "Hey, I'm going to be releasing these beluga whales," and I had taught myself how to do the smart contract, and I taught myself how to generate the whales, and so I learned all that pretty quickly, like literally within a week, thanks to hash libs. You know, and so they said, "Yeah, you know, you just work for us for 3 months, and then we'll push you, and you'll be the next success story." So I did that, and I like put my heart and soul into these projects, and so then uh, a time came for me to launch the belugas, and I said, you know, we can't launch on I mean, we can't launch on Ethereum. I'm going to launch on Polygon, and they're like, "That's fine, you know, that's cool." And so I launched, and the powers that be in that project came to me and said, "Well, we've been thinking about it, and we can't really tarnish our Twitter following by pushing your project. So we're going to have to hard pass on promoting you." And this is after me literally sweat and blood for months with this project, and this is a pretty big project. I won't call them out because, you know, I don't want their project. I have way more Twitter followers than they do now, so the joke's on them. But so it dawned on me once I released the Belugas that I wasn't going to have support from the communities that I had supported and thrown thousands of dollars at. So the utility of my project became building the biggest network in Polygon that anyone's ever seen. And that's what I've done. I have built 700 creators, 700 plus creators that rally around my Twitter spaces every single day. And I started growing at a like 150 to 200 people a day on my Twitter. And the utility behind it is, let's build something that nobody can take away from us, right? And so it became my fever.
It became a movement. I could see that as a movement. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially like creators and artists. Like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
what we're all about.
It's already there, man. I go in there, that thing is popping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I think the takeaway from it is you just you can't like put your eggs in one basket with these small groups of people and hope that they're gonna be good, you know. But a good, solid, wholesome community like what I built, or what I don't say I built, my whole team is built, is not going to let you down, right? It can't let you down. It's the very nature of what NFTs are. It's distributed.
Exactly.
So one person may let the whole group down, but if you got 695 other people to lift you up, that one person that one clown came to me and said, you know, your whales are cute, but they're never, an investor's never going to get behind them. And he just kept driving that almost to the point where like I had almost believed it. And it was like, why would you do that? You know? And so that's pretty much what my takeaway of why I built the utility of building this. So behind the scenes, I'm working with game designers, 3 or 4 game platforms, crypto mibs. I've signed a NDA with crypto mibs to build a gaming ecosystem. And I've signed another contract with another gaming studio coming up. I'm trying to build an educational platform for Polygon from the ground up. So we're just looking for partners that understand what I'm trying to build, which is just like this distributed network of creators that push each other up. And so I've got the game design thing, the education thing. I've partnered with Creative Owls. I don't know if you know much about Creative Owls yet. They're basically going to be the Pied Piper of the metaverse for Polygon. And he's already built this amazing network of metaverse enthusiasts. So it's crazy, man. It's the most successful thing I've ever done in my life, I think, which is I've been pretty successful, but this is bar none the most successful thing that I've ever created. And so I don't even know where it's going, right? It's just like we're at the position now that 3 or 4 of my core group can tweet stuff out and entire collections get sold up, you know. So
that's community right there.
Yeah, so we just have to act in a way that and my I don't know if you've been in this spaces enough to know what my core foundation is, and that is making sure that this community is centered in diversity. So I'm like a privileged white dude that wants to push diverse voices to the forefront. And so, and I wear that privilege. I try to offset my privilege by pulling up people on stage that
what you're supposed to do. That's exactly.
So and you know, that really is I was in I was a VR dev for two-ish years, and I worked on a diversity panel, and I was the only white dude on there, and I still felt too white, right, to be on that panel. But I learned how to build a community that centers diversity. So that's the core. That at the core, all belief systems are safe in my Twitter spaces, and people know if they come in, they can't talk any of that nonsense that you hear in like 50% of the other Twitter spaces that are out there. That I go into those spaces and just feel, if I was a person that was other than myself, I would not feel comfortable there. So I try to, every time I'm interviewed or I discuss it, I have to at least get my diversity plug. So
yeah, I want to, you know, take this opportunity to say thank you for creating what you have created, and you know, the community for Polygon to go, and where I was able to go in and promote, you know, Strange's and music NFT, and I did mention my collection, but you know, the fact that, you know, Strange is an original artist, you know, it's all him. He's put his blood, sweat, and tears in it. And the fact that, you know, you got to think, let's just say before NFTs, what did you have to do? I'm sure, Strange, you've gone through all those emotions, or you're familiar with the emotions that, you know, in order to have a voice, man, you got to go through all these crazy hoops or what have you. And instead, I was able to just go and talk for 5 minutes and say, you know, wow, this is you know, a great collection. It's music. He's an artist, yada yada yada. And it was all for free. It was just, and there were, I can't recall how many, but there were probably about 100 people in there listening. So, you know, thank you for giving that opportunity to everyone here. And then the thing is, and you mentioned about other people, that it's diverse, and the fact that there are people there that English is not their first language, and everybody's patient, everybody is there listening and hears them out, and they struggle. Even I struggle with English, but you know what I mean?
Do I mean, yeah, and I'm from, you know.
So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate
thank you. The thing that the beauty of what we're experiencing as this social experiment plays out is it only takes about 5 to 7 times for you to get up in front of that stage until your brand is in somebody's brain. And so even if you come in and just get up on that stage and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, you do that 2 weeks in a row, you're gonna, that group of people is constantly like vacillating in and out. So you're gonna get this amazing like brand awareness that you can't get anywhere else. And then people will know who Strange is. Like, you'll come in and say, they'll know your voice, they'll know your branding, you know. So it like psychologically, it only takes 5 to 7 impressions for your logo, your brand, your voice, your anything to get in somebody's brain. So if you think about the opportunity that people have to get up and talk over the course of a month or 2 months, it's a brand awareness that you can't get you can't pay for that, you know. There's no, you know. So that's my goal is and you know, the people that don't speak English that well are improving daily. Like there's a guy that came in 70 days ago and I couldn't understand a word he says, and now I can clearly understand him. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool, man. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
yeah, man. I love it, and that's what I've seen with the NFT space. It's a community, and everybody is helpful for the most part. I actually came across my first hater the other day, and I was like, man, I finally found one. But that's
It's like, wow.
yeah, I was like, wow, I found one. And what was crazy is he's a content creator. He has like 4 times more subs on YouTube than I do, and I'm like, oh man, I'm on the radar. I'm on his radar. That's crazy.
We had a guy wait an hour and a half to get on stage to get up and say some troll like thing. I'm like, what kind of universe do you live in that you would wait an hour and a half in the bottom of my queue to get up and say he said something like, "You're poopy," and then he went away.
Right.
And what kind of life are you living, man?
And when people, when I come across, a comment or a mean comment or something, that's what I think. I'm like, wow, you really are that negative of a person that you took the time to actually write this down, type it. Like, if I felt negative towards a video or a person, I'm just gonna keep it going. But for you to go and take the time to write it down and make fun of the way I look or the way I speak or the video, whatever I'm talking about, it's like, man, that's just, I feel bad for them. Like, man, their life must be very bad.
I just started my YouTube channel, and I cannot wait for the trolls to come for my voice.
They're coming.
They're coming hard.
They're coming.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that I used to have a YouTube channel and it was so bad. People love to hate on my voice, and I don't know why. It's deep, right? So, but
it's so funny because sometimes my wife she'll read through the comments and she'll tell me, like the other day, she's like, man, people are pretty mean. I'm like, yeah, but
they're harsh.
Have to keep it going. So okay, all right. I do want to ask if there is something that we've spoken about a lot of different things, but I want to finish off by asking, what is something that would surprise us about you? I mean, we've spoken about a lot of things, personal things, and about the business, the NFTs, but what is something, we even know about the chickens and all that.
Yeah.
So what is something that we haven't spoken about that isn't common knowledge for your audience?
For my audience, let me think. God, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. You're gonna have to let me think on that one for a little bit.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you about, I don't know if you have tattoos or not.
No,
but
not one.
No. Okay. So if you were gonna have a tattoo, what would it be of?
A chicken.
A chicken. There we go. We're going with the chicken.
I almost, except for COVID, I almost got a chicken on my wrist on my vacation this summer. But when we were in Florida, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I read the review from the tattoo parlor, and they're like, my hand hurts. I think I got infections, and I'm like, maybe I'm bad.
Yeah.
No, I want to design my own tattoo, but I want it to be really small, and I want it to be this tiny little rooster somewhere. And the thing that I'm worried about tattoos is that I hate looking at something all the time, and I would have to get it in a place where I could see it every now and then, but it wouldn't be something I saw every day.
That's what I did. That's what I did. So we got a lot of similarities, man.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny. I got a tattoo across my shoulder blade, so I barely see it.
Right, you're never gonna see that unless you really go out your way,
Yeah, man. Okay, so I'll ask you one more question. Let's see. I'm stalling for you. For
Yeah,
surprising.
yeah.
All right,
Okay,
so if you had 3 wishes, any 3 wishes,
3 wishes.
what would they be?
If I had 3 wishes, first of all, that that no person would ever have to worry about drinking water ever again. You know, that would be the one thing, because that is literally this. We live on a ball of water, right? And people can't get something to drink. That would be one. And that let me think. That's a really, I mean, that's something I haven't really thought about. But I think it would be that society would change into where that there wasn't so much hate in the world, you know.
Yeah.
That water, end hatred, and the last one would have to be that me and everybody that I know would become immortal, you know, which is probably a terrible thing to ask for, right? Because
No,
then everybody they know would, you know, it's the whole like
you're trying to form the Eternals, man.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I mean, so we end hatred, water, and probably wish upon me and my family and everybody I know damnation over time, right? So but yeah,
I feel that, you know, if we all realize that we're all sharing a collective consciousness, we're all together, we're all part of each other. And me hating on you is hating on myself, and that's, you know, I feel that is the truth. That's what resonates with me. That is that we're all one, the whole everything. So
I did give you kind of a beauty pageant answer, though. I won't lie. I mean, that was a little beauty pageant of me, right? I mean,
dude, it was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah. So, all right.
So my mind is so much more morbid than this.
So are we ready for the anything surprising?
Surprising.
Something surprising about you that we haven't discussed today.
Let me think. I'm pretty much an open book. I mean, that makes me sound really boring.
No. I mean,
but
we covered a lot.
I'm trying to think of like what would surprise you. You guys don't seem like very surprisable dudes, right? I mean, I can't imagine what a
maybe a hobby that you have.
What's that? A hobby that I have?
Yeah.
Have you heard who I am? I have every hobby on. Let me see. Oh, okay. I did. Okay, this is pretty interesting. I did go to training to be a survivor. And so I did like I went to, if you know, the Everglades. I went on a survival training for in the Everglades, and I thought that I was going to be going on. I was kind of building up to go on something like Naked and Alive or Naked and Afraid or whatever. And so I I did one night in the Everglades, and I was like, no, I don't care. I'm never ever gonna sleep with boa constrictors and pythons and spiders the size of my hands. But and what I really thought, I mean, I had been like in the Everglades camping a long time, but you go without a tent and there's a lot to be said about the four walls of the tent. You go and try to get on the ground, and you have stuff crawling over you the size of like dish plates, right? You know,
Oh my God.
I
Dude,
did not. I did not last. I did not
Oh,
last.
I couldn't do it. I
I
couldn't do it.
begged. I begged to leave. I was like, please, please, and you know, but I was like literally probably I had signed up for going on that show, and I had to go for that training, and without within the first night of sleeping on the ground, nah, I'm good. Never.
you were done. You were like,
Hmm.
nah,
Yeah.
man, I get it. I
And
get
I
it.
had built up to, this is the thing, I had built up to going out into the woods in Florida. As you know, there's a lot of crazy stuff in the woods in Florida, and sleeping with like swampy rednecks shooting guns near my tent, like straight up.
Wow.
And that didn't bother me, you know. And um like people outside my tent hooting and hollering like The Walking Dead. It was crazy. But you get me on the ground and like spiders and all kinds of stuff crawling over me. No, I didn't last.
Mm.
Mm-mm. That
Yeah,
See
was
me, I'm dead in the water with all of those situations right there you're talking about.
mhm.
bro. Man, I feel your pain, man, because look, I grew up in New York City, like the city, you know,
Mhm.
no camping really like that. You know, when we were older, when I got older, I did go camping. But long story short, I had a very, very close friend of mine begged me to go to the Everglades in a group and do that. And
Mm.
they went for 2 or 3 nights. I was like, dude, I'm gonna go, but I'll go for one night. I had to drive out to middle nowhere, canoe for like an hour and a half, and it was an
Mhm.
island.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think I was on that island. I think I know what you're talking about.
man, it was not fun. I did it for one night.
Mhm.
These guys were getting just like snails. Speaking of snails, so funny. Speaking of snails, getting like snails that they were finding and cooking it on a fire because the food fell in the water, man. So they man, it was look, I'll never forget that experience. I did it one time because you know I love my friend, but that's it, man. We're even, like, for everything I do or we do, that's it, man, we're even. It was crazy. I'll never do that again. So
Well, I wanted to thank you guys for having me on. This has been amazing. And what I wanted to do is I want to give each of you guys a bioluminescence coin, and that there's only 5 of them in existence. And what that will do for you is anytime you join my spaces, you just DM me, and that'll bump you to the top of the Twitter Spaces
oh,
feed.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, so
Wow.
there's only 5. Only 5 have been passed out, and they've only gone to people that I think are really going to make a change in the NFT spaces. And so I know that as hard as you're going with these interviews, you're only bound to explode in the scene. So
I'm hoping right now.
Appreciate it. Wow.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
so just
You know?
send me your wallet addresses, and I'll hook you up with those bio coins.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna pop in to continue to pop in on the Twitter Spaces, and
I'm gonna
I
be a new fixture in there, by the way.
Awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be great, man. I'm really excited about to see you come up in the NFT space, and I'll be like, yeah, I knew him when. And then I'll come visit you with those shadowy billionaires.
oh,
Listen, man,
And-
the way I envision this happening, I think we're all gonna be moving together. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think you're gonna miss any of the action. You're gonna be very good.
Awesome.
So yeah, so what I was mentioning is that as I went on the Spaces recently, and I mentioned about me being, I want to have another platform also for anybody to come on, and the kosher pig
Yep.
He been trying to talk to him and lock something in. So, you know, it's
He's
just,
got some amazing stuff going on. Like
yeah,
he's yeah, if he pulls off what he's trying to do, he's going to be a big change in the Polygon space. You know, he's coming at it with that business mind that I don't have, and you know, it's going to be incredible.
yeah, man. I'm hoping to lock him in, and so again, when you see me, that's, you know, again, I'm just trying to promote another platform, you know.
Absolutely.
And so all right, so Beluga, thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking out the time. We went a little over what
It's all good.
we had mentioned.
Hey, it's been great, man. It's been fun to learn about you guys, and it's been great.
No, man, it was an honor to sit down and